Good afternoon once again. Uh, Intellectual property rights in the context of GI tagging. It's a very fascinating subject, and I am also a student in this. So I'd like to learn from three legal experts who are also working on the ground. I'll start from Mr. Hingmire because he was talking very passionately about his work since 2002 on GI tagging. But one very important point, because everybody is talking about the number that has increased, but you mentioned about the second part, the commercialization of GI tech products. So how is your organization doing? And I'm very intrigued also by the fact that you have been doing a lot in the area that I come from, Assam. How did you get into this, and why you think that the commercialization part is now very important? What are you doing to do that, to make that happen for farmers, artisans, and those who are in other stakeholders involved in it?
First of all, I'm really thankful for India Today and DPIIT organizing this beautiful, important event. To answer your question, I just wanted to show an example, live example. This is a Kolhapuri jaggery, and a farmer from Kolhapur, Mr. Desai, we registered this GI in 2009, and you will find ODOP is there, and price is on another side is 130 rupees for 500 gram. Couple of years back, it was hardly 50 rupees. And now, within certain period, it became a double when they use GI tag. And there, what we did, I just wanted to share with you all, what mentioned by Amitabh Kant sir in the morning about the awareness, training to the farmers, to the artisans, to the weaver, and ultimately, what we can say, the community is one aspect, but also a traceability, originality is another aspect, and quality is the third aspect. So we focus on that, and we equip them with certain quality parameters. And now we have another success story of turmeric. Actually, there are almost 40 success stories at our end about the commercialization. We had a mission called GI Mission, GI Revolution, in 3 phases. Number 1, awareness training, what you mentioned about the 2002. In 2003, we got an inspiration from the Abdul Kalam sir. In 2005, I was the first GI agent. And 2007, we have registered the Puneri Pagdi, the first GI from our side. And today, I can tell you about the Puneri Pagdi success story. Again, the same things. Awareness, training, and further, what we can say, equip them to commercialize. So, in 2009, we requested, after the Puneri Pagdi, which got a registration as a GI, we request Puneri Pagdi, we request particularly Pune University, to replace the convocation hood with the Puneri Pagdi. And in 2020, they officially pass a resolution to replace the Puneri Pagdi with the with convocation hood. And I must tell the success story. This year, almost 5 lakh Pagdis will be made, and probably that will be used in the convocation. So, what is a message? It's a cultural entrepreneurships. Cultural entrepreneurship, I have a particular line. AI will take your job, GI will give you the job. And here, what the GI is there for farmer, what the GI is there for the artisans, and that is what ultimately the GI is there for the nation building through socio-economic growth. So, we have this policy in the GI mission, in the GI revolution. Mere getting GI is one aspect, is one step. Equip them to the quality parameters and promote them in a commercial manner, get the benefit through the either cultural entrepreneurship or whatever, at least to take it to the next level, so next generation. And I think, I'm so sorry to say, there is a recent research. 74 farmers do not want to continue with the farming activity. What is the solution? So we taught them like what happened to this turmeric, or what is happening to the jaggery. And nowadays there is a big revolution, and we have created a GI map in Maharashtra. Like we have registered this 41 GIs from Maharashtra, and 59 total we work, and out of that we have 26 success stories in terms of premium price, in terms of export. I can tell you the example, like about the Jalgaon banana, a small village called Tandalwadi from the Jalgaon. 250 families. We registered the Jalgaon banana, again created awareness, parameter, everything what I mentioned. Last year, 2 years back, basically, 12.5 crore export happened there from that small village. So again, they came to productions, and strawberry, Mahabaleshwar strawberry. After 2009, we registered 54 families remigrated to the Mahabaleshwar. So what is this? The ultimate result is that a real benefit to the customer. What I said about the Jalgaon banana, what I said about the Mahabaleshwar strawberry. The third important example is Gholwad Chikku. This, after the GI registration of Gholwad Chikku, we have created, and of course this was a perishable good. When we trained them about the importance of GI, we told them about the quality and everything. They were aware of it. Then they started producing Chikku powder. One gentle lady also started Chikku wine, and Chikku parlor she started with that Chikku. So those are the success story. What you said, GI registration is one aspect, GI commercialization is important, benefit to the ultimate community is important. What I have stories about the Puneri Pagdi, Mahabaleshwar strawberry, then Jalgaon banana, and so on. So those stories are easily available, but that is the real, what we can say, task what we have, and we have little success on that side. This is a good initiative, but I think in due course of time these success stories will be replicated, and more benefit will be reached to the ultimate community. Thank you.
Thank you. That's very inspiring. But for such success stories, like the journey of rupees 50 to rupees 1100, 130 to 1100, it requires, apart from activist and passion of people like Mr. Hingmire, a solid legal infrastructure also. And I'm coming to ma'am about this, that we have seen a proliferation of GI tagging across the nation. We take pride in the numbers increasing, but the quality control, as he was mentioning, commercialization depends hugely on quality. But the quality control, do we have the legal infrastructure? Do we have the laws that are at par with global standard? If not, what we need to do as a country?
Thank you for the question, and thank you for inviting me over here this evening. It's a pleasure to speak on this occasion on GIs. It's a very interesting question about quality control and whether our law has those. In fact, if you take the GI Act and look at it, the word quality does not appear anywhere. So it's actually, when I first realized it, it was a shock to me. Of course, the Act says that you should provide for inspection structures and procedures for doing, quality control checks. So you also asked about what is the system in, overseas countries. And let's take the case of Europe, which is like the mecca for GIs. That's where this whole concept started many years ago, and there are very well-established GIs. You look at the process of registration of a GI in Europe, you see that it's a layered mechanism. There is a pre-screening process where the applicant has to go to a department in the Ministry of, usually is the Ministry of Fisheries and Agriculture, where they have to go and prove themselves as an applicant that is worthy of making that application. Meaning to say that they know who the producers are, they know what the product is, they have the financial infrastructure, and they have know how the quality control is going to be carried out through market inspections. So that kind of a system I don't see in India. We do. Every morning you open the paper, you see that so-and-so product has got a GI tag. And my question is that whether there is any empirical evidence to the effect that that kind of registration or that kind of proliferation has led to the upliftment of any community in the real sense. And for that to happen, the law has to enable. The government is very enthusiastic about it. The GI registry is very enthusiastic about it. We have people like Mr. Hingmire who are registering GIs. But I think what we need to do is that we need to overhaul the law to make it tight. For instance, the pre-registration process will have to be like really tightened, where you check the credentials of the applicant. So many times even patent information centers are just going and registering. Are they really representing the interests of the producers? And do these producers know that this is a product? I have come across situations where, people have told me that such and such producer didn't even know that it was a registered product. So the process of registration should be participative, and these people who are the stakeholders should know what is going to be registered, how they're going to benefit from it. Then there has to be a proper quality control system. For instance, once the GI is registered, is there any check whether it's effective? Why don't you make the applicant, the registrant, accountable for it and say that you file an annual statement of, how you enforced it? Have the quality control inspectors gone to the market, picked up fakes, and if yes, how have you dealt with those fakes? Have you addressed it legally? Have you taken it down? Otherwise, what you get in the market are fakes. I read somewhere that in the town where kalamkari is made, the drains are filled with chemical colors. Because once the GI tag was given, everybody was up to making so many kalamkari printed fabric using chemical dyes. So this can happen only if you tighten the law and make the enforcement tighter.
Thank you, ma'am. Professor Lisa P. Lukuse. Ma'am, you have written an interesting book, Interface Between Intellectual Property and Traditional Knowledge, which is very relevant when it comes to understanding of GI. Now, it's often said that this criticism is there that Indian academia, they remain restricted to only campuses, which is not true of every institution. How are your university working together with various stakeholders in this fight for intellectual property rights? And what more Indian universities or any higher education institutes can do to bring together various stakeholders to put up a collective fight, not just for IPR, but also, as we mentioned, about quality control and other aspects of GI, taking this GI movement forward in the right direction?
Thank you so much for this important and interesting question. Let me also congratulate the DPIIT and India Today for organizing this GI Samagam. It's a very unique one. So now coming to the question, the academia in India has a great and crucial role to play primarily in the GI registration process. So I will explain how it happens. So Leda has just mentioned about the GI Act. In order to understand the GI registration system, GI Act along with the GI rules and GI manuals to be read. Then only we will get a comprehensive understanding. So where we can understand that making an application for a geographical indication is not an easy task, but it is very complex, it is very technical, and it is also scientific as well. Because in every application, one has to prove the uniqueness of the product. The uniqueness of the product can be proved only by various methods of test. For example, if you have an agricultural products or you have some foodstuff or handicrafts as the case may be. So various tests are involved in order to prove the uniqueness. It can be the color, it can be the appearance, it can be its size. So how you will be maintaining the specifications. So the specification of a GI product becomes the soul and heart of a GI application. So here comes even its connection and linkage with the place of production and the traditional practices and cultural heritage that the producers and the people in a particular locality maintaining and preserving for years together. And this cultural heritage, this tradition and these cultural practices, they should be proved on the basis of recorded history. So a thorough research is needed in order to establish the history. With respect to other intellectual property rights, this establishing history will never happen. So it is a unique aspect with respect to geographical indication. establishing a history through record purpose. Sometimes the records are not available in English or in Hindi. It can be in different languages, so even a translation is needed. So here comes the role of research institutes, academicians and researchers in order to equip the applicants, in order to find the history, in order to find the records to the satisfaction of the registry, so that you can have a very good case for the geographical indication. Then coming to the test, as usually the producers are local people, they are not having too much knowledge about the various scientific tests involved, various technicalities involved, nitty-gritties involved with the law, as the case may be. So only an informed person who is practicing in that particular field and who is having sufficient knowledge in that particular domain can educate him and give him awareness as to these are the necessary tests that your product should undergo in order to establish its specification, in order to prove its uniqueness. Because that specification uniqueness should not be changed. Whatever batches of the products that you take, it all should match with that particular specification. So in order to maintain this distinctiveness, of course, legally distinctiveness is a term that will suit with the trademark, but in an academic sense, I am using that particular terminology. So the specification, the distinctiveness, the uniqueness of the product, you are establishing through the various tests. So it can be chemical test, physical test, microbiological test, as the case may be. So all this can be advised to the producers, and they can be facilitators to not only get the application drafted, but also to get the test done through an authorized laboratory for that matter. There can be design institute, there can be textile institutes, and also there can be agriculture institute, for example, who can give this hand holding to the producers and the applicant so that they can make a mistake-free application. Because prosecuting the application is an important task. So there can be a preliminary report, the registry will be giving. You have to even give answers to this particular question, establishing the linkage, again providing the uniqueness as the case may be. So at all these stages, the academicians, the researchers, the research institutes, the universities have its great role to play.
This question could be to all three actually. Legal, ground activist, academy. All three actually need to work together to create this, to take forward this GI revolution, as I said, in the right direction. So how do you see, probably Mr. Hingmire can talk about it, how do you see these three coming together, with any specific example if you can give, where the convergence of the three actually help you to achieve something concrete?
Very, very, again, very important. I have one line answer and support with that answer. Think globally, act individually. Right now I'm with this Iris silk jacket. How many of you know about Iris silk? Iris silk, the life of the Iris silk is 170 years. And it's absolutely, silkworm never dies from this. So it's a Ahimsa silk. So we should start with the concept called Har Ghar GI Ghar. And start from your individual level. So in my home, you will find at least 70 products are there from different part of India. So it's individual. Like I will only buy the GI product. I will support the GI movement as an individual. So it may be a jacket, it may be a sari, it may be whatever. I have basuri right now. You may call it a basuri, but in Bodoland when we work, it's a sifang. And you will also get to know our culture. Sifang is for 5 holes, but for other basri you will find 6 holes. And that 5 holes again is connected to our culture, like a Pancha Mahabhuta. So there you will get the peace in your home. So I strongly suggest Har Ghar GI Ghar and start with 1 product, 2 product, and that itself is a revolutionary movement which you can. Of course, we all have to come together. Definitely, there is no doubt. Academia, then all industry and all. But here is a revolution movement which began in India during 2002, basically, during the Vajpayee sir's prime ministerial time, then when we enacted our GI Act. Now it's, if you see the global scenario, China, they have 13,000 GI. European Union, they have 60,000. Where we are. Actually, number need to be increased. At the same time, individual need to be involved and need to support, and they will also get the quality product. GI is nothing but the quality product. So the number one is need to come together. Number two, start from at individual level and start with one single product, like we did it for Puneri Pagdi. So in short, Har Ghar GI Ghar is at individual, think globally, act individually. Apart from that, at global level, we have to take it. So when we went to the WTO's ministerial conferences, we displayed our GIs and we mentioned in our position paper, which are right now published in WTO's website, and those are accessible here. We can't say much, we considering time. So here is my personal view: think globally, act individually, Har Ghar GI Ghar. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Hingmire. I'm sure the other two speakers will agree on this, but we can't extend this conversation further. Its written time is up. Very sorry for this. I had several other questions, but it was very insightful, though short. Thank you very much for being here and enlightening all of us. Thank you.